Part 2, Surviving My Stepson, T. I left off because I said my husband had no idea I didn't want him withdrawn. At least that's what he told me. I really think it could have been a setup because of the way that he told me T needed to talk to me and everything of that nature. And he said he'll be calling you. And I asked my man what it was about. And he said, oh, he'll call you. So anyway, like I said, got that air mattress, got everything. T came in, and he seemed to be in very good spirits. Now, he also seemed to be a little out of his mind, a little mentally ill. Because of the stench on his body and what he's been through, he just was out of it. Mentally, he was out of it, and he looked so tired. He was drained mentally and physically. So I made sure that he was comfortable. I made sure, that I told him he could take him a nice warm shower. Of course, he had very little luggage. I think he had about one bag and said the other two got lost at the airport or whatever, and he had to throw a lot of things away. And I reassured T and his father, and I reassured him, don't worry about it. We have you. You don't need to worry about money. You don't need to worry about working right now. We just want you to get in here and get comfortable and relax, And so I gave him his things, his pajamas and his house coat and his new toothbrushes and everything for his hygiene, socks, undies, all of that stuff, T-shirts. And I told him to just, take your shower and relax. Now I want to stress this point. T looked very nervous because when he walked in, like I said, he seemed to be a little mentally ill, and I don't really know too much of what really happened before he got here at that point because he did elaborate. I'm gonna get into that. However, he decided to go ahead and go to sleep after he ate because see, I was cooking, for Christmas Day. And you know how some of us do. We'll start on Christmas Eve, And of course, we had another family member coming to stay. My son, at the time, that's what I called him. So I made sure it was an abundance. And so he went to sleep. After everything was all settled and done and the shock factor wore off with us and it really hit us. T is here. And T is here for good. He has nowhere else to go. So at this point, I'm just telling my man, don't worry about it. We'll talk tomorrow because we're going to have to find we're going to have to go ahead and expedite buying this house. Because I already said I want to move from over where I live at anyway because it's too much. I don't even want to go there because this is not even about these other people, but it's too much garbage and trash over where I live at. And I don't like being bothered by total strangers that are jealous of me and don't like what I say because I tell the truth about how people harass the hell out of me. I digress. So we go to bed. I notice I get up the next morning. I'm getting up to fix breakfast and to start, the rest of it's Christmas morning and to start the rest of, the Christmas dinner. And like I said, the stench was still stenching. T was in one of the rooms, and it was overwhelming. When I say that T didn't bother to take his face cloth or his towel, a toothbrush or any soap, I bought him brand new soap, his own soap, the kind where you can smell a little masculine, and he had all his own things. He got in that blow up bed with all that new quilts, new blankets, new sheets, new pillow, new everything. New house coat, new pajamas, new house shoes. Funky as a motherfucker. When I say funky as a mother, I mean just crazy, stinking nasty. I was mortified when I got up. Because I got up coming out smelling just as Dove clean, light spray of my body spray and teeth smelling like mint mouthwash. And I come out into my living room and the whole place is permeating. Now my dependent's bedroom door is shut. And I noticed my dependent had cracked the window in their room all night. And that kind of worried me because I was like, I don't want my dependent catching pneumonia or the flu or COVID or whatever, having to sleep in the room like that because T didn't want to bathe. Now everything seemed to be going well with T's attitude as for the first week, except for the first 7 days, the first week, T would not bathe. So T walked around this motherfucker stinking. Let's just say stinking. When I say, and then had the audacity to practice his martial arts out in my living room. Kicking all that funk, nasty, cock and balls, and just disgusting, just smelling like a zoo. So at this point, I'm pissed because I'm like, okay, you've got your bearings. You've been here for a week. You're not out of it like that anymore. You're comfortable. So now you're going against what I'm asking you to do. You're disrespecting me. You're around here sitting up on my furniture with your funky ass. You haven't brushed your teeth. So I'm thinking to myself, what in the F is really going on here? What is really going on? This is crazy. This is insane. So at this point, because during the first week, I told my man, I said, look, T won't bathe, he won't shower. You need to talk to him. All my man did that I heard was, hey man, you need to step on your hygiene. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. And he was like, all right, Dad. That's the way he talked. Very much so low vibrational, low functioning. I'm going to put it to you like that. Well, we're not going to say that he was a total, what people would call, he wasn't autistic. He wasn't on the spectrum. He was LD. He had a learning disability. And you could tell. Not just that, he was from down south because, see, originally his mother is from South Carolina, and her mother, which is his grandmother, they're from Alabama. So, T is that real, his mother's side is that real backwoods. If you get what I'm saying, uneducated, backwood, those type of people, those type of blacks, the ancestral kind. I'm going to try to keep it cute on here. So anyway, we on day 7. And I could see T is starting to come out of he's starting to come out of the act he put on when he got here. Week 2. At this point, because T was only here for 1 month. Yeah, that's how bad it got. Week 2, I started noticing things where T had, he had started bathing. He had been to the dentist. I explained to him the importance of hygiene. I started noticing things where he had started, questioning my authority. He started being rude. Now, he never really raised his voice. He was always calm. He was always monotone. However, the things he said he never cursed, but the things he said were very slit throat, and they were always challenging my authority. T let me know that he was a homosexual. And I kind of figured because he had a lot of feminine ways and he loved to argue. And I said, we don't do a lot of arguing. We don't physically fight each other in this house. What? Y'all don't fight? I just don't believe that. I don't believe you all don't fight. I said, I don't know what you or your mother or her boyfriends used to do. I said, however, your father and I and my dependent, there's no fighting up in here. We use our words. We express ourselves very clearly. We articulate and pronunciate just fine to get our points across, and we show respect when we do it. And if we have a problem and we get loud or anything like that, it doesn't go past that. It doesn't go past us getting loud. We don't get physical. We don't do that because I can't sleep with someone that I have to fight or that fights me. I'm just not doing it. I don't play with my life like that, and I wouldn't play with my dependent's life like that. I apologize if your mother played with your life like that. So I could see the tone was set where T was on some official bullshit. And T was out to finish what he had started at 15, 16, and 17 to tear our relationship up. T would do random dirty things. Now, he had the dog so scared that the dog didn't really want to be around him. Bud was around him because he was afraid. So I would be like, come on, baby. Come on, Bubba, come on. And Bubba would run in the room with us. Because, see, every night I would finish dinner for the whole family. And we would go in our rooms. And we would shut our doors. And my man and I did not come back out of the room until the next morning. And so that's how that went. What my dependent did, I didn't know. However, if it was any issues here, we're licensed to carry. So it's like, and T knew that. So it's like, we're not going to have any problems in this house like that. So don't try it. We're not doing that. So, I started noticing that things were, T had started spitting in food. He had started spitting in orange juice and apple juice. He was eating everything up. He was drinking everything up. I asked him one day, I said, please don't drink up all the orange juice. It was enough for 2 glasses. We drink, Simply Orange. They're not sponsoring me, by the way. But, I'm like, so say, your dad likes orange juice in the morning. T would get up. He would drink up all the orange juice through the night. He poured all that orange juice in his glass in front of my face. I said, why would you do that? I just told you your father he's going to want some orange juice when he gets up. What do you want me to do? Pour it back. I was like, wow. So every 2 to 3 nights, I'm on the side of our bed, my man and I, crying and telling him, T is disrespectful and out of control. At this point, this is your son now. This is your son. Because my dependent would never disrespect you in that manner and never has. And T is making it his mission to step on my damn neck up in my own home. To figuratively step on my fucking neck up in my house. So when T realized that I was not really dealing with his garbage, you have to remember, mind you this, I clean the entire house. I wash everyone's clothes. T didn't even have to wash clothes. I took T to Walmart to get him some things. He had the entire car smelling so bad. It's in December. I had to open the sunroof up and crack both of the windows, all 4 of the windows in December. It was like, I would say no, January. It was in January. He refused to bathe like he was supposed to. And that was an ongoing issue. Brushing teeth, bathing. And then we would go to the grocery store. And we told him, he was like, well, how much do I need to spend? We're like, you don't have to spend anything. Just get what you want. T would get some of the most expensive stuff. And I told him, I said, well, we don't usually buy that type of stuff. We get some good stuff. We get some name brand things. He went out of his way to spend our money. My dependent is an organic dependent type of person. And my dependent that came out of my uterus wasn't buying that type of shit. However, T was. And I'm like, okay, I see what this is correct. This is nuts. T has started spitting in food. T has started leaving my refrigerator door open at night because T knew that when, we went in our bedroom because, see, my dependent had went back to school shortly after Christmas. So T knew T was the only one here other than us. And I guess T waited until my dependent went back to school to cut a MFing fool on me. So he was spitting in food. So that's when he left the refrigerator door open. So I just happened to come out the bedroom to get me some water. And I saw the fridge door wide open. T laying down, chilling, eyes closed. So I'm like, I went straight into the bedroom, our bedroom, and I said, babe, T done left this refrigerator door wide open. And I know he did it because I didn't do that. I said, I would never leave. I said, so now he's trying to spoil all the damn food in the refrigerator. See, this is the crazy shit that I was dealing with. And this is a grown-ass man. But this is my stepson. And the whole entire time, I'm keeping it cool. I'm not cursing. I'm not loud. I'm trying not to get out of character because a lot of you all can hear me on some of my shorts. And I don't play with you all. So, the people that's bothering me, I'm not going to play with T fucking ass either. I'm not going to play with T. And he's in my home. He's in my effing house. Violating. And so I said, T ain't changed. I told my man before he got here, I said, T was a problem when he was a teenager. I said, I think since he's had time to stew over these years, it's only two things he can be. He can be a decent young man, or he can be a total nightmare. And I said, I just don't see him being a decent young man. So my man was like, you have to remember, T was a minor. I said, yeah, that's true. I said, okay, I'm going to give him a chance. I should have said no. Everything in me was like, you need to say, hell no. When your conscience tells you something, people, you need to follow it. On top of, he was playing this strange music, and I came out and I said, T, I said, look, there will be no pagan worship in this house. And I said, well, what are you listening to? So I walked over across to sit on the couch. I turned around, T done ran up on me. This is the first time T done ran up on me. T done ran up on me. He got his computer all in my face, and I'm leaning back. I said, T, get your ass out my face. I said, get back. Oh, I'm just trying to show you what I'm listening to. I said, is that the way you do your mother? I said, get back. Stay tuned for part 3.